Hello everybody, welcome back to Walt Plays Dark Souls. In this installment of the series, we're going to be actually going back to the Undead Asylum where we started the game. Now, I did already clear some of it, fair warning, but I intend to show you where all the items that I gathered are. There's really only 2 or 3. I also wanted to go back, now that I've upgraded my Zweihander a little bit, and fight the boss of the area. It was actually fairly difficult. Really, the main thing that is difficult about the boss is that you start by taking a lot of damage from the fall to get down to him. You can circle him pretty easily. You can get him to kind of loop his patterns, but he's pretty similar to the Asylum Demon from the beginning of the game. What you want to do is take this lift back up to the blacksmith and jump right up onto this roof. When you get out here, there's a little cliff side. And kind of got to aim right here, aim right onto that strut. You can just roll off, you land right on there. Looks worse than it is. I mean, it's pretty rare that I actually missed that. You're going to run up, you'll see the crow down there. What you want to do is go to the top. And the first thing you want to do, I have gathered this item, but you're going to roll down here, you see the body here. This leads to a key to get back into the asylum, so you're going to grab that. Then you can just walk right back on here. Not too bad. You'll walk back up the stairs, turn around immediately, the stairs continue to go up. When you do get to the top, you can run around back up here to the crow's nest, and then you just curl up like a ball, as the game prompts you to do. Now, I've been here before, so this is instantaneous for me, but you're actually going to need to stay rolled up for about 30 seconds before the crow initially takes you back to the asylum. So this should all look real familiar. Things have changed a bit though. You'll see there's a bunch of torch-wielding hollows, which are generally pretty annoying. You can just bait them back and use the large swing of your sword there to knock them out. They'll die in one hit. Pretty easy. Just take it slow. If you walk straight across this floor when you enter, the floor will collapse and you'll fight the boss. If you're not ready for that, don't do it. Instead, make a right to where the bonfire was here. Now, instead of... Some of the normal enemies in this area have actually been replaced by Black Knights. Again, they only appear once, then they disappear. I fought one right here and killed it. If you're having a lot of trouble with him, and run past him for now, you're really only here to get the Rusted Iron Ring for Blighttown. And also of note, when you come up here, our friend Oscar from the very beginning of the game has hollowed and gone crazy, and you will fight him up here. He's no more difficult than any other NPC you're going to fight. He's not too bad, truthfully. Doesn't take a ton of damage before he dies, and he gifts you this nifty shield that I'm using right now, his Crest Shield. So, with that done, if you do go up here, that boulder, again, is pushed back on you. So dodge that, fight your way through a couple hollow. These hollow have not gained any strength since the beginning of the game, so good place to practice your parries and backstabs. Which apparently I need some work on at this point. There we go. Absolutely massive damage with a backstab on this thing. Now I've upgraded it to +8 at this point. Is unreasonably powerful for this stage of the game. Since we did pick up that key, we can get through this door that we missed at the beginning of the game. As you can see, I already have it open. And where this leads you is directly to the other side, and this is where you pick up the Rusted Iron Ring that we're going to make good use of when we go to Blighttown. So, going back down, it has not been that long. I'm sure you remember if you do go down these stairs. It's a shortcut for the first bonfire that you rest at in the game. Through there was the Asylum Demon where we started. You can also go back to your cell to get a really important item if you're going to do a lengthy side quest in this game. So we're going to go ahead and do that. I actually have not gone down here yet. But as long as we're here, I'll show you guys where it is. Another Black Knight here as well, so be careful if you're not adept at fighting them. You know, it might be a good situation to run by them. You can actually see through here the other demon that we're going to be fighting shortly. Much more difficult than the initial boss. My endurance is not what I want it to be. Unless you're very heavily armored, don't attempt the parry on these guys. And even then, you know, I took a ton of damage from them. Another Red Titanite chunk though. Pretty cool. And here we'll get the Peculiar Doll. Very important if you're going to do a side quest and fight an optional boss a little bit later on. So with that done, the only thing left to do is to fight the boss. I'll likely die a couple times on him. There's no shame in that. He's quite difficult. He nets you a ton of souls if you can beat him, but I find a lot of the time it truthfully is luck of the draw. You know, even if you're really quick, the fall takes off a huge chunk of your health when you're falling down to him, and he's already mid-attack at that point. So if you can get behind him quickly enough, you stand a chance. If not, you're in a lot of trouble. But, you know, right now we don't have a lot of souls, so it is what it is. We die, we die. The most important part of being here, besides getting the Peculiar Doll, is that Rusted Iron Ring. So don't feel obligated to fight this guy at this point. You can always come back to it. One thing that I did do, that I'm going to go ahead and put on my bar here, rather than, I suppose, the fire bombs, I bought some gold pine resin back in the depths. This boss is a little bit more weak to lightning and fire, so that or charcoal pine resin would behoove you to have one of the two on your hotbar. We're going to carefully walk across here. Trying to get the floor to collapse without me being on it, which doesn't seem to be working. Yep, there we go. There's the demon. We're going to immediately run to get behind him. Oops, I fully intended to heal, but I guess we're okay after all. Now, that butt stomp that he just did, that's a great time to hit him, but ultimately you always want to be behind him. That fire attack that he has, that he's using there, that hits about a 270-degree arc around your character, so you want to be right behind him, not too close. This is a great distance to be, because that'll hit you almost anywhere in the room except in that area right behind him. As you can see, he takes quite a bit of damage from that Claymore being buffed with the lightning, Zweihander rather. He'll get looped in this pattern as well. You know, if you're backing up and coming back towards him, he does that and interchangeably with the little butt slam. So he's getting ready to cast that once again. We're actually doing fairly well at this point. I may not use all the gold pine resins. I might have more of a use for them later in the game. But 430 damage per attack is pretty significant. Even without it, you know, 250 with this weapon. Most of the time he takes just about forever to beat. I'm sure you all remember the Gaping Dragon and how long that took. This guy has more HP than the Gaping Dragon, so it's kind of a testament to how strong we've become. There's our first death on him, but I don't think it's going to be a problem. You know, we were taking him down pretty quickly. Okay, so again, toughest part of the fight right here is the initial fall. You can take out these hollows beforehand if you like. They do fall into the room with you, so they can be kind of a nuisance, but they're usually killed by the Asylum Demon's first attack. Go ahead and get a running start here. Perhaps not. Heal up. And time to take him out. Oops, I am not two-handing this, and I should be. Oh man. Barely avoided that. Did I get my body? No, I did not. Make a run for that. That should be the first thing you do when you walk into the room. I don't know what I'm doing. Yikes. Rookie mistake there. Yeah, you can see I was actually quite a bit behind him on that one, but I still took some damage from it, so real important to be right behind him with that 270-degree arc. With him being as fat as he is, you know, too, even the butt slams, you can usually get hit by that if you're not being real careful. Like even the tip of his axe just winged me there and took off a little health. Down to half health already, though. We're just about caught up to where we were. Never feel bad about dying. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen a lot. Just make sure you get your body and don't be a fool like I was. Okay, a couple more hits should do it, and that's a sizable amount of souls. Probably gonna put them in dexterity, I think. Try to get that up a little bit. Although this scales a little bit better with strength, this weapon also does... Oh! Same spot I was at last time. This weapon does get a little bit of a damage buff from dexterity as well. And ultimately, to use our weapon of choice, we're going to need, I believe, 18 to 20 dexterity anyhow, so... Might as well maximize our damage output. No. Keep your health topped off. I'm going to hit the ground and roll immediately on this. Ooh, a lot of recovery time there. Wow. Okay, much better. Got our souls. Let me get behind him and heal up. Wait till he does that magic wave again, and I'll go ahead and buff. There we are. Yeah, let's make a quick work of him so you guys don't have to keep watching this over and over. And I think I'll even equip my claymore. Not gonna bother with the target lock, it just messes me up a bit. Okay, that's the move we want. Want to bait that out. Jumping attack, some sizable damage to get around behind him. Hey, note, I have died on this guy a fair number of times in the past, but it's actually usually that magic storm. To be honest with you, the butt slam I don't think has ever killed me before. Because it's usually pretty easy to avoid. Whereas the magic wave is not. There we are. Oof, first hit we took from that. About to get hit by it again. No, maybe not. So evasion at the last second saved us. That's why the target lock is kind of annoying, because when he's in the air, it distorts your field of view there and makes it a little bit more difficult to evade. That's why I usually leave it off. If you're going to hit the guys anyways, I mean, realistically at this point, it's pretty hard to miss. He's huge. Okay, one more hit should do it. Killed him in midair. It serves him right for landing on us. And he dropped the Titanite slab. Very rare material. You need that to upgrade your weapons and armor to the very highest tier. All 14 to level 15. So you're going to climb that ladder here, roll down through the window. This is the hallway where we fought that Black Knight and where we got the peculiar doll. Very start of the game. So now we can go back to Firelink, triumphant with 24,000 extra souls. We're going to start Blighttown in our next playthrough, which I've been promising to do for a while, but always seems to be one more thing to do. our hollow friends are back. And that is our return to the Undead Asylum. I like that they included that in here as a little bit of a side quest to go back to where you started it all. Another opportunity to see how powerful you've become. Easy enough to get back. All you're going to do is, well, I'm going to heal up first and foremost, just in case I do slip, but you can go down the stairs. You can, a couple ways down. I prefer to just go back up onto the roof here and sidle my way down on the little rooftops. I don't think I've talked to our pyromancer quite yet. Go ahead and talk to him. He's going to ask you if you find pyromancy unsavory. I'm going to say no, and then he'll gift me a pyromancer flame, which is kind of nice. We'll be using that a little bit later on. We're not going to upgrade it at all. I'll show you what we're going to be doing with that a little bit later on.
Goodbye then. Be safe, don't you dare.
Let's see if I have any souls. And I do. It should pump our dexterity quite nicely. Yeah, quite a bit. Should also increase the damage that we're doing with our Zweihander. Yeah, we're getting an extra 90 damage on top of the 234 at this point. So I feel real good with where we're at. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording at this point. There's 2 paths through Blighttown, and we're going to be taking the first of the 2 paths next time. Thank you all very much for watching. We'll see you next time on Walt Plays Dark Souls.